What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm joined by my lovely lady friend, Cam.
Hi.
If she still loves me. And we're talking about our weekly predictions for WandaVision, the new Marvel Disney Plus series. You all know what it is. But I had a prediction video that I put out at the beginning, before the season started, with my prediction for the season. So every single week, I'm going to sit down with Cam or just myself, and we're going to give our updated predictions for where we think the season is headed. There will be spoilers, just a quick warning. So we just rewatched. That'd be your third time watching the episodes, my second time watching the episodes. And I think, after watching those, that Agnes, a.k.a. everyone is assuming is Agatha, I think that she is... What are you laughing at?
The way that her name just slowly fell off of your mouth. You were like, Agatha.
I lost air.
Agatha?
Yeah.
Agatha Harkness.
I think that Agatha, I think that she is fully aware of whatever's going on, and I think she might even be behind the simulation, or Ralph, her husband, could be in cahoots with whoever is involved, because if you rewatch that second episode, just the way that little red helicopter thing with the sword logo falls down, Wanda goes out and sees it, and then immediately Agnes goes over and starts talking there, and you see that she's kind of deflating the situation, trying to get Wanda's mind off it, and then, when the mailman walks by, I forget the exact dialogue. She says hello or something, or put him up or whatever, and he's like, whoa, don't shoot the messenger. He gets kind of scared. She has a very intimidating presence, so I think that she is aware of the simulation, which is my guess as well, that this whole thing is a simulation that we'll talk about who's controlling it later, but what do you have to say?
I think there's definitely something weird about Agnes's character. Like, the first thing she does when she meets Wanda is she's like, charm, which is like... Yeah. Wanda's under a charm. Like, everything she says could definitely have a double meaning to it, and I definitely think that that's done on purpose. But in, like, the first trailer we got, we see a clip of Vision, like, touching her head, and then she kind of, like, wakes up, and she's like, am I dead? And he's like, no, why would you say that? And she's like, because you are. So I don't think she's awake and aware yet. Did you forget about that?
Yeah, I didn't really watch that second trailer too much. I just saw clips from it.
I watched all the trailers.
I will say there's even that line where she's like, look, it's the star of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Sketch.
It might not be Agnes doing this, but whenever something happens that would make Wanda question like where she is and what's going on, and like just like start to question things, something always comes up to distract her from that. Similar to like that conspiracy theory where it's like whenever something happens with the government, something happens with celebrities, it's like a really, really big deal to like distract people from it. I think it's like the same thing. Very
Truman Show-esque as well, as that literally things would go wrong and they would send someone to fix it. Or who do you think is in charge of the simulation? Do you think it's a simulation?
Sword.
What are your predictions?
I think Sword is in charge, but I don't think it's Sword. I think it's AIM.
Okay. So you think that it's like a Hunger Games type dome thing, like a Truman Show dome?
Yes.
I do as well, but I think that it could also be like the Matrix, where everyone's just like laying somewhere in like a lab and their minds are being like hooked up to something, brainwashed almost. And I think that some of the people in there are also dead, because we know Vision is dead. And I think that some of the people, whether it's Deborah Jo Rupp, I want to say, she plays Katie from that 70s show, I think she could be dead. Like, people like that, it'd be morbid from the MCU, but they could be dead, and their brains could just be being kept alive. I don't know exactly how it would work. We'll have to see how it plays out. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
So you think they might not even physically be in there or moving at all?
No, yeah.
I don't. I disagree. I get what you're going for, but like we see clips of like we have a clip of Monica literally being like blasted out of the universe and then into the real world. So I don't know about that. I think that they're definitely in like a little bubble type thing.
I think that the voice on the radio is Jimmy Woo. I think if it's
is.
not,
there's no question about
it's not. Are people trying to claim it's Captain America?
There's lots of people in my TikTok comments that are like, "Am I the only one that heard Steve on the radio? It's definitely Steve's voice." You're the only one. And I'm like, no.
No way,
definitely not.
Same with like the Beekeeper. We don't know who that is. And you could theorize. I mean, who do you think it is? I think it's literally just a sword agent.
Yeah, I don't think it's anybody that we would know of. If anything, if it is somebody, it's Evan Peters. If.
I didn't even think about that. That could be a possibility, but again, I don't think that there's any way to guess who it is. People say Coulson. It could be Steve Rogers. No way.
Isn't Coulson, dead?
I think he came back in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, but I don't watch that. So
how's that work?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't looked into it, but I can say that I think there's going to be an episode where like the simulation shuts down.
There's definitely at one point Monica goes from being inside Westview to being outside of Westview.
Monica Rambeau?
Yes.
Okay.
She's in there and then she's not. And I don't know how that happens. I don't know what happens.
Captain Marvel might make an appearance.
Whether it's AIM or not, I think that somehow, some way, Sword is being manipulated, kind of how Hydra was manipulating S.H.I.E.L.D. for like so many years. I think S.W.O.R.D. is being manipulated. I wonder who Ralph is, because
no clue.
Agnes mentions her husband Ralph like 20 times and we haven't seen him.
I think it's just going to be a regular guy, like her husband.
I guess, but it's just weird that we haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I do also think that we're going to give some quick predictions for episode 3. Like, what from the trailer do you think will show up in this episode? Like, do you think the Halloween episode's later? Mm-hmm. Later? Okay.
I think the Halloween episode is after we get through the 80s and the 90s. Okay.
So, I personally think this episode will have them as the babies. I know you think it'll be the following episode. I don't think they'll be holding the babies at the end of this episode. Really?
They're supposed to. So, the way that, if I'm correct, it looks like each episode goes through a time period. So, we have the 50s and the 60s. This upcoming week is going to be the 70s. And then we have the 80s and the 90s. And the clips that we see of them holding the babies is definitely 90s, because they look like they're in their full house, like kind of type outfits in the house. That's another thing. The house changes every episode.
Yeah.
And no one ever says anything.
And like the time jumps, right? Like, I mean, the characters all stay the same age, but they're in different time periods and no one really knows about it.
When they're holding the babies, it looks like they're in the 90s, so I don't think we're going to see the babies for a while. I know that she's definitely pregnant in the 70s because there's a pop of it, and like all the episodes, like trailers and stuff that we've seen of her in the 70s, she's pregnant. If anything, we'll see it next episode. So the 80s.
Yeah.
Not the 70s. She's got to go through her pregnancy hormones first.
Wow.
I think if they play along into that, like she'll go, whoop. For specifically episode 3, I think we're going to get more of Monica. I think that I have a video, depending on how fast I edit it, where I like did a bunch of research for WandaVision, because I don't read comics, I don't know any of these characters. But one of the powers that Monica has is hyper-cosmic awareness, where she's basically like more aware than other people when something's wrong with the universe. I think that Monica is gonna like start to realize that something's wrong and something's off, and I think she's gonna try and make Wanda aware of that. And I think that might not make Agnes happy. I think Agnes is gonna be like, that's not good. So I think Monica and Agnes are gonna kind of be a little bit of a rival situation and not like each other.
I like that theory. You definitely have more theories than me.
I watched more of the trailers than you did.
Yeah, definitely. I like to stay away for certain things.
Quite literally everything in the trailers could be a lie. Like a lot of things I noticed, like they stitch. I just know that trailers are made like this, but I also noticed it when watching it in like really, really slow speed. They edit things together to make it look like it works. And I know because I've tried to do that for trailers before. Yeah. But when you watch it slowly, that you'll realize that like not the same scene, or like that there's one scene where like they completely like flipped it to make it look like it was something else. Like they literally just like flipped. Do you think we'll see any more of the Beekeeper?
Yes, I think we'll see the character again. Probably this episode or the next episode.
Will we see Jimmy Woo?
Not this episode.
Will we see any of the outside world?
Not this episode. not this early. It could end with like a zoom out and it is Jimmy Woo on the radio, but we'll have to see what happens.
We'll see.
That's going to do it for our predictions for this upcoming WandaVision episode. Definitely hit the like button. Comment all your predictions down below. What do you guys think is going to happen as the show continues to progress? We'll be back every week to give you our predictions. Definitely head over to Cam's channel, subscribe. She'll have a video out sometime this week, hopefully.
At some point.
Yeah.
I'm really slow at editing.
As for the Film Stock channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos. And stay tuned for our live watch party of WandaVision Episode 3, Friday at 3 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Time, 12 a.m. Pacific Time. Going to be in a long, early morning, but I'm going to get some sleep, more sleep this time before. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, see you guys later.
Bye.